Moving on, we have Kaban. And if you remember Kagawani, this is the show that the scriptwriter is also doing. The guy who's writing Kagawani is doing this one too, Koban. And it's similar because, as the description says, Koban will be produced through rotoscoping live-action footage and will feature bondage, stylish horror as a theme. The official website contains the following tagline: "There are cameras everywhere in the world. Those eyes have seen the world you do not know." The first thing everyone thinks of when it comes to rotoscoping is Aku no Hana, which is actually incorrect. Aku no Hana did not, I mean, it used rotoscoping, but not like full-on rotoscoping. It was like this weird blend between rotoscoping and then actual animation, which was entirely the point because it was supposed to be weird and unnerving and uncomfortable. This, I'm guessing, is more like a full-on rotoscope kind of experience. So, like, if you're like, I don't want to watch it, fucking Aku no Hana was ugly as shit, maybe don't throw this aside quite yet. It might still be ugly for your taste, because rotoscoping definitely does not look like traditional animation unless you go, like, fucking crazy. I don't know. I think you could potentially do it, but anyways. It's something I'll give a shot, too, because, I mean, I want to see new animation styles and see what people are up to with that kind of shit, so, I'm on board. I want to see it. Moving on, we have Shingeki Kyojin Shukaku, which is related to the Attack on Titan series. The story reimagines the Eren Mikasa army and other cast members from the original manga as students and teachers at Titan Junior High School. It's basically just everyone, I don't know if they're permanently chibi-fied according to the promo image, but it's a comedy spin-off where they're in like a school. I wouldn't be surprised if they were chibi-fied because it would fit the tone a lot better, because if they were still their normal like Attack on Titan selves doing like this weird side stuff, it'd be kind of weird. So they're probably in these chibi forms that are shown in this promo image. That's what they're gonna look like. Pretty much everyone on board for this show is none of the people who did Attack on Titan, which makes sense because this is a comedy parody spin-off kind of thing. It'd be kind of weird if you had like fucking Araki directing this. It wouldn't make sense. So pretty much everyone on board is new. The director's done 2 other shorts before, so it's possible that this is also going to be a short, but given Attack on Titan's popularity, they might stretch it to the full, runtime. But just based on the director having done shorts before, there's a possibility that this will also be a short, which I think will fit it a lot better. But we'll see. Pretty much all the staff members on board are different. The one exception is the sound director, and that is also something that makes sense, the sound director being the same, because, the sound director has, like, he's been immersed in making the sounds for Attack on Titan, or maybe taking the sounds from Attack on Titan elsewhere, or whatever. So the sound director has, like, this good feel for how the universe sounds, and so even in this, like, comedy parody version, they have an idea of what those new sounds for the new tone should sound like. So it makes sense to have the same sound director on board. Lessons from Riyoga. I almost didn't pronounce my name correctly. That was fucking weird. I think it was just because I was trying to... It's not that I meant mispronounce my name. It was that... No one gives a shit. Moving on. Haikyuu second season. A lot of people like Haikyuu. If you want another season, it's... here's the second season. Yeah. Woo, good stuff. Moving on. Peeping Life TV season 1. I like how it has 2 question marks. Okay. Are there question marks because it isn't actually sure if it's the first season? Or is it question marks because they don't know if there's going to be more seasons after this one? Anyways, moving on. The Soul Life anime is part of the Datsuryuku Kei genre of comedy that depicts the listless minutiae of everyday life. The original anime combined motion captured improvised acting with computer animation into a series of comedy shorts. So I guess this actually was a thing before. This new series will feature characters from Tezuka Production and Tatsunaka Production franchises, and will also feature characters from the previous Peeping Life series. So there was a Peeping Life thing before this. This looks horrifying. I don't want to touch it. If you've seen something from this before and you wanted more, here you go. I don't know anyone who's like, oh my god, you should watch Peeping Life. So, I don't know if you're interested, give it a go. I don't really give a shit, but that's just me. Moving on, we have Comet Lucifer. On the planet Gift, wow, that's a straightforward name, precious crystals called Gift Geum, I see what you did there, are buried in the earth. A young man named Sogo lives in Garden Indigo. Interesting names for these things. A prosperous mining town. Sogo, whose hobby is to collect rare crystals, gets wrapped up in a riot caused by his classmates Kion, Roman, and Otto, and loses his way until he finds a lake deep under the ground's mining ruins. There, he meets a mysterious girl with blue hair and red eyes that gaze straight ahead. The story follows the adventure of what happens after this meeting. And it's original work. So, based off this promo image, the very first thing you're going to think of, and it's the first thing I thought of, is No Game, No Life. Because damn does she look like Shiro from No Game, No Life. So I did a little looking into the character designer, animation director, stuff like that. And it's not No Game, No Life. The character designer and chief animation director did animation and character design for Gatchaman Crowds, both seasons. So that is, or maybe it wasn't both seasons, maybe it was just the first season. Anyways, the point is, like, and that makes sense because, like, the colors seem similar to Gatchaman Crowds. So that makes a lot of sense. Also, something to note is this promo image seems like more like kind of high fantasy-esque, like she's an angel kind of like imagery. Whereas the promo image I saw when I looked this up on my anime list reminded me a hell of a lot more of, what was that damn show called? Eureka 7. Because the dude was on like a fucking flying hoverboard thing and she was like, you know, holding on to him and stuff like that. Well, actually the girl was like fucking flying in the air because she was holding on to his neck and she's like, oh my god, my feet aren't on the board. And then he had like, I'm guessing his childhood friend was standing on the board with him, whatever her name was. I didn't look up her name. So almost two completely different like tones with different promo images. So I don't know what to think of this show. Other than that, there's 2 directors on board for this show too. Just like, what was the last show that had it? I don't fucking remember. There's 2 directors on board for this. However, one of them is a series director, so he's probably like less hands-on with this. But that means they're gonna make a series out of this. This is like, maybe not necessarily a second season, but there's gonna be other works, like maybe a manga version or something. I don't know. Usually, I'd imagine with the series director is they have like an overall kind of gaze on what's going on with the series, and then the main director is just working, you know, focusing just on this. I want to give it a go just because I'm curious, because of the 2 different promo arts that I've seen. I want to see what tone the show's going for. It's kind of weird. It could be very interesting, but who knows? I don't know why I said it like that. I'm fucking weird. Moving on. Kido Senshi oh, come on. Words. Kido Senshi Gundam Teketsu no Orphans. The show is set 300 years after a great conflict between Earth and Mars known as the Calamity War. Cordelia sets out on a journey to Earth to speak for the independence of the Martian city of Trice? Or Trice? It's probably pronounced Christ. Which is under the control of the Earth government. Escorting her is the private security company CGS, which protagonists Mikazuki August and Orga Itsuka are members of. When a group named Galahorn I'm laughing and almost don't know why. Attacks CGS and Cordelia. Orga sees this as a chance to rebel against CGS and launch a coup. To fend off Galahorn, you can't fend off Galahorn, man, it's OP. Mikazuki rides an old mobile suit from the Calamity War powered by a nuclear reactor, the Gundam Barbatos. I don't know why am I dipping into random weird fucking accents? I don't know why. It's one of those days, I guess. Just one of those days I'm like, I'm gonna record today! And I'm like hyped up on sugar or something, even though I haven't even eaten anything today except a couple cookies. I need to eat an actual meal after this. Anyways, some of you may already know about this because this is the one where Mario Okada is on series composition. Wonderful. I'm not the biggest fan of Okada, but I don't think she had too much to do with the script because it's got a original creators listed, but that could just be for Gundam in general. I'll give it a go, but Okada is... I don't like Okada's work. I like when Okada adapts other people's work into shows, because she did, for example, Toradora. She did a good job on that. But when she writes her own shit, it's just a melodrama fest, and it's fucking awful. Like, she doesn't understand build-up. She skips straight to the melodrama of things all the time, where she's like, oh my god, this sad thing is happening, and you don't even, like, know anything about the characters yet. It's just one of those things where, like, you should feel sad because what's happening is sad. And, I mean, hey, it works for some people, but I like to know about the characters before I give a shit about them. Call me a cold-hearted bastard, but that's just the way I am when it comes to these stories. Anyways, the director did Toradora and Anohana and Railgun. So it's them. They've been teaming up a lot lately. Ever since I guess you know, they did Toradora, and then they like made that little team, and then they did Anohana, and then they've kind of like stuck together for quite a few things after that. The director and Mori Okada. Anyways, the guy on music who is Masaru Okayama, who did the music for Shigatsu, Your Lie in April, and Plastic Memories, which are pretty nice soundtracks. It's also kind of bad because that, you know, Okada is known a bit for a melodrama, and given Masaru Okayama's other music, he's probably kind of good at melodramatic kind of music. We're like, oh my god, a sad thing is happening, play the sad music. That was less like an accent and more like I was losing my voice. That was weird. So he's probably good at that kind of music, so that also worries me about what tone the show's gonna take. But yeah, I want to give it a go. I mean, I pretty much always give, you know, even these kind of things a go, and then if it turns out to be Okada's usual shtick that I don't like, then I'll just jump ship. I mean, hey, I finished Charlotte. Anyways, moving on, we have Onsen Yosei Hakone-chan. Hakone is a hot spring spirit who descended to a spa resort on Earth. However, with her long slumber, she looks like a little girl on the outside. High school boy Toya stumbles across her at a hot spring and ends up joining Hakone and retrieving her original powers. So obviously this is a comedy show, like little, you know, shenanigans are gonna happen. Haha, funny. Like different people will show up at the hot spring, I guess. My guess. Different people will show up at the hot spring and then a different gag will happen for different kinds of things. But who knows? What's really interesting to me is that one of the genres listed is seinen, which is it seinen because like bloody stuff is gonna happen, or is it seinen because lewd things are going to happen? I have no idea. I'm kind of interested to know. This is one of those shows where I could see it probably not appealing to me, but I want to give it a shot just in case it does. Because I mean, hey, like it's almost the same feeling I had when I first saw Himoto on last week's or last season's chart, and I was like, you know, I probably won't care much for this, but I want to give it a shot. And then I gave it a go, and I finished Himoto, and I actually quite liked it. I liked Himoto quite a bit. It was good. You should watch it if you want a good comedy show. It was, what I really liked about it is I'm going to keep an eye on the director. The director, like, not just how the jokes were written, but, like, how they were presented a lot of the time, even sound-wise, was a huge part of, like, what added to the humor. I still remember, I think it was episode 9's ending gag, the way that it was fucking directed. Oh, it was so fucking perfect. I loved it. What was I saying? I liked Himoto. Anyways, as far as this show goes, I have no idea what to think of it until I actually, you know, give it a go. All I wrote for this on my notes is that I literally wrote, staff haven't done much. Which means that they haven't done a whole lot, and what they have done isn't all that noticeable. Or notable. So, I don't know what the fuck to think of this. So I'll give it a watch, see what I think of it. I have no fucking idea what it's going to turn out to be. Hopefully it'll be like Himoto, and I like it quite a bit. I don't fucking know. Moving on, we have Amer Coco Rainy Color Iokasu, sequel to the Amer Coco TV series. Didn't this air like 2 years ago? The first season of this? I remember this promo art. Maybe I just have a bad memory and it was like 2 or 3 seasons ago. I don't fucking know. Anyways, if you watch the first season, here's the second season. Moving on, we have Kamori-san wa Kotowa Nai. The story revolves around middle school student Shuri Komori, who is too kind and is unable to say no when someone asks her for a favor. However, she has gained various amazing abilities as a result. Like, she keeps helping people with things, and so now she's like got super strength because she, like, people need her to like lift things around, and so she got really strong, and now she can like lift cars or something. I don't fucking know. What's really interesting is the girl on her shoulder. It's like her twin sister or some shit. I think I saw something when I looked this up on my anime list. She has like a twin sister or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Or maybe like it's her alternate self. Maybe one of her powers is she can split herself in two or some shit. I don't fucking know. I'll probably watch this if it gets simulcasted or someone picks it up, because this is actually credited as being a 3-minute short. Like, it's actually confirmed to be a 3-minute short. So I can handle 3-minute shorts. Like, even if 3-minute shorts aren't that good, like, unless they're like physically painful to watch with how bad they are, like 3-minute shorts are so fucking easy to watch, because like even if you don't like it that much, before like you get really annoyed with it, it's over. Like, it's just done. It's like, oh, the show's over, or the episode's over. What do you know? I guess this is with the show too. You're like, oh damn, the show's already ended. Holy shit. Like, if you combine all the episodes together, it's like 1 episode of like a normal show. Like, that's how long it is. Well, maybe a bit longer than that. It depends on how long it runs. Anyways, moving on, we have Concrete Revolutio, Chojin Genso. Tokyo is flooded with countless heroes, Chojin, during the time of apotheosis. Their origin stories are all different. While some were altered by evil organizations, others came from space, magical worlds, or are fairies from ancient times, or robots. But the Japanese government could not simply close its eyes as these superheroes ran rampant. My bad. I got my tense wrong. I looked this up, as I usually do for most shows, on my anime list for staff and stuff, and the synopsis shed a little bit more light on this. Apparently, the idea behind this is, I don't know if it's like a fourth wall kind of thing. Well, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to break the fourth wall for this to be the case, but the idea is, what if all of the fictional heroes we've ever written about suddenly existed? That's the idea for this story. I don't know if they're like actual heroes that we've written about in like the real world and they're in this show, or if it's just like people in this universe have written about various types of heroes and they came to life. The only difference would be we would be able to maybe recognize some of the heroes, and then if it's in universe, we wouldn't. Or it's probably still be based on people, or based on other superheroes regardless, because there's only so many ideas. Other things that are interesting about this show is that it got advertised and even like kind of announced at Anime Expo 2015, and they advertised it as a superhero story in a setting similar to Watchmen, which was not the best movie, but the graphic novel's pretty good. The director on board for this is Seiji Mizushima, who did the original Fullmetal Alchemist, not Brotherhood, the original one. And that's one of those shows that everyone argues, oh my god, the original is better. No, oh my god, Brotherhood's better. Who gives a shit? Point is, people like both, and he did the original FMA. The sound director and the script guy are also from the original FMA, and that holds a little bit more credit because the story went original after like halfway through. So if you liked the writing of the original Fullmetal Alchemist when it went into its original zone, like around halfway through or whatever, you might want to keep an eye on this. And then there are quite a few character designers on this, probably because the amount of superheroes that are going to be in it, and they got different people to design them. And one of the people who is on board for designing the characters is Noisy Ito, who you know as drawing the novel illustrations for Shakugan no Shana and Melancholy Haruhi Suzumiya. I love Noisy Ito. She's great. She's fucking adorable. I saw her at Anime Expo 2013? I don't know. She went to one of the Anime Expos, and that was like the sole reason I went, and I got her to sign one of my Shanna art books. It was great. It's fucking annoying, though. The people on staff didn't even know what the fuck they were doing when I was there. Like, I was like, is this the line for Noisy Ito? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And they put me in the line, and then it turned out to be for someone completely different. It was fucking annoying. And then I went up, and they're like, oh, no, you have to get, like, here, like, a billion years ahead of time and get this ticket. And I'm like, what the fuck? The other person had no idea what he was talking about then. It was fucking annoying. Anyways, point is, I still got her to sign something, and it was great. And I follow her on Twitter, and I don't know if she's still doing it, but not too long ago, like a month or two ago, she got into Final Fantasy XIV, and she was tweeting about it. She even put it in her, like, username that she was playing Final Fantasy XIV. It was great. I love Noisy Ito. She's adorable. Anyways, I'm gonna give it a go, because there's some pretty interesting staff on board. The fact that it was advertised, they focused on advertising it to Western audiences is also interesting. And it's Bones. A little bit of a different art style than they usually go for, with a little bit more of the color saturation. I definitely know what that word means. I just look at the promo art and I think, that's color saturation. I know what I'm talking about. With the like, whatever. With that color scheme. That's not usual Bones thing. But Bones, like, they're pretty, they have good artists, so that's nice. And then the staff are cool, and I love Noisy Ito, so I'll give it a go, see what it's like. And then I like to support original works, too. I like to watch original works and see how they turn out, because I like to give original works a go, because at least they're trying something new, so you never know. Moving on, this is the show everyone's fucking hyped about. One Punch Man. Story revolves around the titular superhero who was trained so hard that his hair has fallen out and who can overcome any enemy with one punch. However, because he is so strong, he has become bored and frustrated with winning all his battles so easily. So there's a lot of hype for this. Madhouse is on board. We've seen a couple, like, animation sketches, or, what are they called? Little, like, tidbits they've put on Twitter of, like, what are they called? What the fuck are the animation frames called when they're on paper and they're not actually animated yet? Keyframes? I mean, I guess that works, but I don't think that's quite it. Anyways, some of those were on their Twitter advertised. It looks pretty fucking cool animation-wise. I'll be watching. Like, I'm gonna be a little bit of a Debbie Downer, But don't get me wrong, I'm going to watch this. I am interested in it. I just want to try and balance out the immense amount of hype I've seen. At least the hype I've seen. I don't know. Maybe there are a couple circles that are like, what the fuck is One Punch Man? I'm... The only thing staff-wise I wrote down is that the director did some stuff on Space Dandy, which doesn't really mean much because Space Dandy had a lot of different directors. Like pretty much a different director each episode. I keep rubbing my eye as I'm talking about all this shit. My eye's gonna get like puffy and red because I keep rubbing it. I've rubbed it like the last 10 minutes straight. It's bad. It's pretty much all I wrote staff-wise. But animation-wise, it seems pretty fucking solid, and that's mostly what people care about when it comes to One Punch Man, so hey. I'm gonna give it a go. It seems like it could be done, because you're like, oh my god, he solves all the fights in one punch, that's boring. But then obviously the conflict will be that he needs to land that punch. You know, he needs to actually get that punch in. So it'll be interesting to see that. I'll give it a go, it'll be interesting. I have no idea how it'll turn out. Although, like I said, the animation, at least from what's been teased on Twitter, looks cool. Unless those are just, like, the good bits, and then everything else about the show is like, oh my god, this is hideous. Who knows? Moving on, we have Koko Hoshi Kakeki. Yuta Hoshia enters Ayana Academy, a school focusing on show business activities, specifically music. The academy has a group of 3 students with the highest grades in the musical department, and they are known as the Kokai. I don't know why. Or Kaiokai, whatever. The shortcut to entering the musical department is to enter the Starframe class, which is directly taught by the members. Unfortunately, due to their own problems, students Toru, Kaito, Sho, Shu, and Yuta are all struggling to even remain candidates for the musical department. By a stroke of luck, however, the 5 are spotted by Kaiokai members Otori, and they pique his interest. So this is another original work. This seems like it's almost entirely being born out of the Udapri popularity, because Udapri's fucking printing money so far. You can even kind of tell because there's like 5 of them, and they've kind of got somewhat similar designs to the Udapri guys, and they're making a star with the thing. It's like, this looks a lot like something that was inspired by Udapri, which is fine by me. Udapri's fan-fucking-tastic. The director for this did Kuroko no Basuke, so he knows how to appeal to women. I'm just kidding. There's a lot of people who like Kuroko no Basuke. It's just it's a lot of women that talk about Kuroko no Basuke that I've seen that really go crazy for it. So, director knows how to appeal to females. And then the music guy did Parasite, and that's all he did. That's like the only show he's done music for was Parasite, and now this. And it showed because Parasite's music was kind of fucking weird. Not the best choice of music for a lot of scenes, but that may have been more on the directing angle rather than the literal music itself. Anyways, that's, yeah. I don't have much else to say. It's an original work. There's nothing for me to go off of. And that was all that I got from the staff. It looks like it was fucking inspired by Udapri and wanted some of that money, so there we fucking go. Moving on, we have JK Mesy. 3 high school girls have mastered the art of cooking simple B-class dishes called JK Mesy. The 3 girls, Reina, Ryoga, and Ruriko, all start with R. That wasn't written, but I won't like including that, are all classmates in their 2nd year of high school. They often get distracted when studying for tests, and when they do, they cook JK Mesy. Hey, food. So this is... I don't know. It looks like it's a short, but I don't know. It seems like just based on the promo, it seems like something could be a short, but it's also something that could actually work as a full-time thing, like just purely based on the art from the promo. It makes a little more sense that it would be a short going staff-wise, because the staff is brand fucking new. But then I wrote more, so maybe some of them aren't brand new. At the very least, most of the staff is brand new. Maybe all of the staff is brand new, but I need to see what the rest of what I wrote. Apparently there are 3 animation directors. Interesting. One of them has done some animation on 2 shorts, and another directed some other shorts, including Zombie Neko, if you remember, for a show we covered this season. There wasn't a show before Zombie Neko. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So it's likely that this will be a short, but given that some of the staff have largely worked on shorts. But that doesn't mean immediately that it's guaranteed to be a short. It could be a full-blown show. I don't fucking know. It's just a guess based on what staff have worked on. So, yeah. Again, nothing to go off of. It's an original work. I'm sorry. I'm trying with the information I have. Moving on, we have TQ 6th season. There's 6 seasons of this shit. If you want to see more TQ, here's the 6th season. Moving on, we have Osamatsu, sequel to the Osamatsu-kun TV series. If you've fucking seen the other shit of this, I've never seen this before in my life, but if you've seen it before, here's more of it. Yuri Sanhai, oh my fucking god, it's more fucking Yuri. It's a sequel to the fucking specials, which is kind of weird, but whatever. More Yuri if you want to watch that. Shinatachi Nishichi, oh my fucking god, it's another amazing row of sequels. It's a sequel to something. I don't fucking know what it is. I've never seen this before in my life. If you want to watch this, it looks horrifying, like fucking nightmare fuel, but if you want to watch it, there you go. Or maybe you need to watch the original first. Fuck if I know. Moving on, we have Hidan no Aria AA, which is a spin-off of the Hidan no Aria TV series, but I'm not skipping it. I'm actually going to cover this one. The story revolves around Akari Mamiya, a first-year E-rank student at Tokyo Butte High School who aims to become a Butte and idolizes her S-rank upperclassman, Aria H. Kanzaki. The high school has an Amika system, where one upperclassman is paired with one underclassman for training, and the story follows Akari as she strives to get Aria to become her Amika. So, if you never saw it, Hidan no Aria was a show that aired fucking forever ago. JC Staff did it. Don't jump at the heels to watch it because it was kind of bad. And by kind of bad, I mean it was pretty fucking bad. The only reason I'm bothering to cover this right now is because I'm going to try and convince you to watch it, despite Hidan no Aria having been pretty not good. Because here's a couple things. First, the studio doing this is Doga Kobo, who rose to fame when they did Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun, aka the best fucking show ever, and season 2 fucking when. After that, I don't know if they did some other stuff, but the most noticeable one is last season they did Himoto, Umaro-chan. They're on a roll with some pretty good shows. I mean, Umaro was nowhere near as fucking great as Gekkan Shoujo was, but Doga Kobo's a solid studio so far with what they've done. And they have some talented animators on board too. There's some neat animation. They have some talented, it's in-house animators. Like, obviously people jump animation studios a lot, but there are some specific staff members that like to stay in like one studio, or they're tied to that studio. Doga Kobo has some pretty talented animators. And when they step up and do their thing, there are some pretty memorable scenes that come about. So, first plus, Doga Kobo's doing this spinoff. The second is just the fact that it's a spin-off in and of itself. Sometimes there are bad series that have spin-offs that are actually quite good, better than the original itself. So even though the original Hidan no Aria show was kind of bad, this could end up being pretty good because it's, you know, it's a spin-off written by someone else. I think it's written by someone else. I probably should have checked that. And third is that this is the director's staff-wise, I'm going into staff now. This is the director's first gig as a full-time director. However, he has done episode directing before, all across the fucking board, all kinds of genres. The most noticeable thing I picked out, assuming that this credit is correct, is that he directed the 8th episode of Madoka, or Madoka, if you like that pronunciation. If you don't remember, the 8th episode of Madoka is the one that ends, spoilers, with Sayaka turning into the witch, and it has the ending shot where Kyubei's up on the thing and he's like, ha ha, you turn into a witch, gotcha. That's the episode. That's episode 8. Other things happen in that episode, but that's the main thing that people remember from it. And the ending scene was pretty fucking cool, assuming he was like a full-on director and he didn't have Shimbo breathing down his neck, because again, that is a possibility, to be fair, that Shimbo was largely on board. But assuming he had, you know, at least for that scene, like, I'd say he's a pretty fucking solid director. That ending scene's pretty fucking memorable. And then series composition, this is less for me and more for other people. The guy on series composition is the guy who did the script and series composition for Clannad, and After Story, and Golden Time. So if those types of shows are your thing, the guy who did the script and series composition for Clannad, After Story, and Golden Time is on this. So, hey, that's pretty much all the appeals I can make. I probably convinced some people to give this show a shot. Now I have to really hope it doesn't fucking suck, or it's gonna bite me in the ass. Fuck. Here's hoping! Come on, Doga Kobo, don't let me down!